Dear Booktivists, as you surely know, the movie A Wrinkle in Time only hits bullet points from the book and changes many other things. As such, I am giving you a movie theory as it is its own alternate universe, meaning very little input from the book will be used here. Everybody good and calm? No one's gonna be freaking out that the book said this! Okay, let's get started. So I love the style in A Wrinkle in Time. I thought it was beautifully done, but there was an issue that has never really set right with me since I read the book way back in middle school. Why does Meg automatically believe what she's told? I mean, if your young girl and reality is literally being altered around you, maybe that's a good time to be suspicious and have a lot of questions. For goodness sakes, most of the story is about things seeming one way but being another. So where are Meg's survival instincts? Something is so wrong with all of this. Okay, to be fair, in the movie she is kind of wary of what the missus tell her, but I mean, she just goes along with it without really giving it much consideration at all. Anyways, my points here are that 1, how do we know that the misses are what they claim? They start off as mysterious human-like figures, but then Mrs. Whatsit is, did they make up a name for whatever I'm looking at here? No matter, she's a different thing from what we initially believed, and who knows if that is her true or final form. But these women slowly show up in Meg's life, and because they tell her they're good guys, she just believes it and takes off. What if those ladies are the reason her dad disappeared? Why is she so trusting? Does no one adhere to stranger danger anymore? Then issue 2, Charles Wallace is adopted and given absolutely no origin story. Why does that feel so unnerving to me? Based on the information in the movie, Meg's father has been gone for 4 years and Charles Wallace is about 8, so the family didn't adopt a baby, he was just out of toddlerhood, and he somehow ended up being a super smart kid?
Have I ever been wrong? Well, one of these days you might be Charles Wallace.
Oh, I highly doubt that. He's one of the greatest minds in recent history. He's prodigious.
Now, no hate towards CW intended, but I've been a foster parent, and to adopt a child at age 4 is a lot to deal with. They're usually in foster care due to severe abuses and traumas, and they tend to have a lot of issues that need handled. Then there are thousands of adoptive parents going after kids with no major physical or mental problems, and the social workers are more prone to either allow the foster family to adopt or look for a family with a parent who stays home to offer more consistency for the child. As kids get older or have more issues, they get less picky about families, but usually healthy kids 5 and under are snapped up in a heartbeat. And he's clearly a white kid, and statistically white kids get adopted like a lot more than children of color. So despite what Meet the Robinsons might have you think, the odds of this happening are astronomically low. So what if Charles Wallace was not a regular kid put up for adoption? What if he was a piece of the It that worked its way to Earth so that he could help Dr. Murray finish the Tesseract? Now, I know CW is the sweetest kid ever, so that doesn't make sense, but he could have been a sleeper cell agent kind of deal. First, Charles Wallace vanished when they arrived in Camazotz. No one knew what happened, but when Meg and Calvin were safe, Charles Wallace just reappeared for no explicable reason. And considering that Calvin and Meg just had to run for their lives to get to that safe point, Charles Wallace already being there doesn't make sense. So his disappearance could have been activation stage 1, or the It might have replaced Charles Wallace altogether at that point. Then remember when the kids are all on the beach and that numerical code starts? It's implied that that's what flipped Charles Wallace over to the dark side, but why? Unless he is a sleeper agent, nothing like that should have occurred. I mean, they were just reciting a number sequence, so there's something very odd about that activation code, and I mean like Winter Soldier level of odd. Finally, Meg loves Charles Wallace back to normal and they go home, but again, shenanigans. Meg puts very little effort into finding out if CW is really back to normal, and instead she just runs home as quickly as she can. So how does she know that that wasn't what the It wanted? If we really think about it, the goal of the It was to spread. So if it wanted a better grip on the Earth, opening a portal via a Tesseract seems like a decent option to do that. And if the the It had control over a being of great power like Mrs. Witch, Mrs. Who, and or Mrs. Whatsit, the It could spy on Earth, find scientists working on portals to other dimensions, plant an unexpected sleeper agent like Charles Wallace to ensure that Mr. Murray finishes his work, and then abduct Mr. Murray to take over his mind and infect the people on Earth with the It. I would guess that Mr. Murray, and I am assuming it's Mr. not Doctor, but I can't remember, but Mr. Murray was influenced by the It because he was ready and willing to leave Charles Wallace behind for good. Like, he was over trying to save that kid and didn't even struggle with the thought of ditching him there. That's messed up. Now, I think Mr. Murray remained trapped on Camazotz willingly to prevent spreading the reach of the It. Like, he just flat out refused to go home, but he could have at any time. Or at least he did until Meg showed up. And then sentimentality slapped him in the face and Mr. Murray couldn't resist the temptation any longer. Meaning, at the end of the day, Meg's rescue mission was what It wanted all along. And because we have proof that Meg's father isn't really the great loving dad that we've come to expect, that proves to us that he is corrupted and about to unleash the It on Earthlings everywhere. And as for Charles Wallace, he probably has the mission to stick around and make sure that happens. It might not be reality, but theories are more fun. Well, that's all I have for now, but this video's not quite over yet. I get a lot of comments that say, do a theory on this topic, but I've already done those theories. So please consider going to my main channel page and clicking on the video tab so that way you can see everything I've done. You will probably find a lot of things you like that you never even knew that I posted. I want to let you know that I also have two other channels, Say Halo Goodbye Gaming and the Fanily Family Vlogs. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed enough to hit subscribe and share. I can use all the help I can get to let other people know that this channel exists. And if you made it this far, leave me a comment that says something like, hey, I made it to the end. And then let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. I can't make any promises, but the more people that request something, the more I can look into it. Okay, well, I love you. I'll see you in the next video.